Hello, folks. So, let's speak about the 12th house today. Normally, this house is associated with losses, expenses, spiritual practices, foreign residence, big corporate jobs, and of course, isolation, and even imprisonment. But today, we will approach the 12th house from a different angle. We'll speak about how the 12th house and or the 12th lord is responsible for bringing intimate relationship, serious partnership, and marriage. Yeah, so let's get started. All right, so in your chart, from your lagna, and you can do this analysis from your moon too. Let's start with the lagna. See what planets sit in your 12th house. See also the ruling planet of this house. Now, we commonly wait for 7th Lord Dasha, 11th Lord Dasha, 2nd House Dasha, or the Venus Dasha, or the Rahu Dasha, for seeing when we will meet someone special, start a serious relationship, or get married. But we also need to examine the 12th house. Look for the 12th house getting activated in your Mahadasha, your Antardasha, your Pratyantardasha, to meet someone, to see the timing of when you meet someone. It can show you the start of a serious relationship or marriage timing. It can be that the planet sitting in the 12th house or the 12th lord is getting activated by dasha or by transit. Right? Like you could, for example, have Jupiter moving through your 12th house. That's an example of the 12th house getting activated when you meet someone. See this from both the moon and the lagna. A relationship or marriage happens when the 12th house is activated. In contrast, the 7th house is the actual marriage. Whereas the 12th is opposite to the 6th house being celibacy. So the 12th is getting you out of the celibate state, essentially. But there's another reason. Now, unlike the Western concept of astrology, where the focus is on the 5th house for bringing a relationship or a romance, here the focus is on the 12th house. For the simple reason that in the Vedic system, we focus more on the karma getting activated when it comes to relationships, when it comes to events playing out in our life. Yes? So 12th house is what? 12th house is essentially the prarabdha karma of the 7th house, because 12th is 6 houses away from the 7th house. So not only does it show a karmic connection, but because we're talking about the 6th house, it is inevitable. It has an inevitable feeling to it. Like you will have to undergo this karma at some point. You can put it off. You can put it off to later in your life, but eventually it will play out. Yes, the 12th is also about bed pleasure. But what we're talking about here is prarabdha karma of the 7th house. Right? Like even Venus gets exalted in the 6th from its Mool Trikona house of Libra, right? Because your relationship karma is there. 6th house is the house of service. So essentially Venus exaltation in Pisces is service. Service to whom? To your marriage partner. This is why Venus gets debilitated in Virgo. It's a place where you put down the partner, maybe criticize, maybe judge, maybe you're demanding. Basically in Pisces, you let go and you accept and you serve. Right? You can spend your whole life looking here and there for your partner, but the prarabdha karma connection tells you what is meant for you, essentially. The type that is meant for you. The 7th and 12th houses get activated when a serious relationship begins, or you're getting married. Right? So see this again from both the moon and the lagna. The dashas of the planets in the 12th house constantly introduce you to potential partners. If Venus and Jupiter are in your 12th house, then you can get a partner that is educated with a good family background. Venus demands purity in relationships. So Venus there in the 12th, especially if it's well placed, can mean a romantic, idealistic relationship. If Sun and Mars are in your 12th house, that can mean someone from a high status, someone self-made, someone courageous. Sun in the 12th usually means that the person wants to marry to have children. And here the Sun will promote spirituality. Moon and Mercury can mean the partner is wealthy or from a business background. Moon here means the person wants to marry to establish a home together. And Moon, of course, in the 12th can also bring many partners. The same with Rahu. Rahu in the 12th brings mixed results. Right? Certainly it brings a lot of partners. It can suggest a foreign partner. Perhaps someone who was previously married. Rahu in the 12th can mean you're always chasing the person that is not right for you. And you tend to look in the wrong places. It's kind of similar to Rahu in the 7th in that way. If it's Ketu, Saturn, Mars in the 12th, this points to more challenging relationship karma. Saturn in the 12th can mean someone from a low status. It can also indicate someone who is melancholy by nature, traditional. They can have a lot of addictions. Saturn looking at that 6th. Of course, Saturn can also bring grief in relationships, right, in the 12th house. And Saturn in the 12th, again, similar to the 7th, can bring someone who can be a little bit cold, distant in a relationship. Yeah. Mars in the 12th, Mars is what? Mars is someone who's nonconformist. It kind of goes with, like, they're very independent. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to listen to the conventions and the rules. And Mars also often can bring... this is, of course, also called Manglit Dosh because it can result in arguments and contentiousness in relationships with Mars in the 12th. Ketu in the 12th can result in disturbance as well. Unlike Mars, you can't quite put the finger on it with Ketu. It can cause sudden separation. With Ketu there, you have to increase your faith because that activates the Jupiter, which can control that Ketu energy because that's quite difficult. And a marriage can happen in the dasha or the antardasha of the planet in the 12th house, or the planet that rules the 12th house. Either can be activated. Check 12th from the moon, from the lagna, and even 12th from Venus. Jupiter, of course, is the ruling planet of the natural 12th house of the Kalpurush Kundali, right? Which is Pisces, which is Jupiter's current transit. So this is getting activated right now. In fact, we're just about getting out of the Jupiter-Venus conjunction. So Jupiter-Venus together in transit, in conjunction, in trine, can also spell the beginning of a relationship. And Jupiter-Venus dashas and antardashas. At the time of marriage, 12th house will probably be active by a transit or dasha in some way. See also the 6-12 axis from Venus and the 7th lord in your chart. So the 6th house, for example, from your 7th lord. See if that's getting activated. And see if that's getting activated in one of the Rashi dashas, like Jara dasha, for instance. Or 6th or 12th from Venus in your chart. Right, this is activated through the planet that sits there when you're going through the dasha, including Vimshottari, including Jara. Or another Rashi Dasha, depends on what applies in your chart. For example, you have Venus sitting in Aries. Then this would be Mercury, as Virgo is 6th from Aries. Right? So here a relationship can come along during Mercury phases, for example. Yeah. So that's all for now, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. All the best.